To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Sarah, can we have the roll call, please?
We have Chairman Adam Miller,
I'm here.
Vice Chairman Lauren McClellan,
Here.
Commissioner David Leland,
Here.
Commissioner Cara Derry. Here. I have Commissioner Kamar Williams.
Here.
I have Andrew Alba, alternate 1, and Jonathan Diggison, alternate 2.
Thank you. Our item on the agenda is the minutes for the January 23rd Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. Do I have a motion on the minutes?
Motion to approve minutes from the January 23rd meeting.
Motion made by Commissioner Williams. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Vice Chair McClellan. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Minutes pass 5-0. Okay, so our first item, main item on the agenda is application number 23-164, SPM SEAAR, Primrose College Use. The applicant, Bar Education, Inc., is requesting site plan modification to modify the previously approved site plan special exception approval to modify the use of 300 building to allow for college use as part of the existing private academic institution in lieu of the existing middle school use, and architectural approval to modify the wall signage on the northern facade of the 300 building for a property located at 300 and 400 Royal Commerce Road. Mindy, I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Is the applicant present? Can you come to the podium for me, and I'll give your appearance, and then I'll swear you in. Sorry, that seems very loud tonight. That's good. Your name for the record? Thank you, ma'am. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you, ma'am. And I'll turn to the Planning and Zoning Commission and ask for any ex parte disclosures on this item.
No.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Chair, just if I could, while I have the microphone, just a minor editorial comment. There was an error in the agenda backup for this item when it was originally published on last Thursday, I think, or Friday. You have a printed copy before you. It was fixed yesterday and uploaded, but in the event that you printed prior to the correction, we just wanted to make sure you had a correct copy. There was a change to special condition 2A. There was a track change error that did not get saved. So the original version did not contain condition 2A. It is in the printed version, which was on the dais for you tonight. The applicant has been provided with a copy of it. They're in agreement, as I understand it. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Kaiser, but they're in agreement with the revised document. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mitty. Okay, Josu, good to see you, sir. How you doing?
Good evening, Mr. Chair, Commissioner. Josu Ledger for the record. Application number 23-164, SPM SEAAR. The applicant is requesting site plan modification to the previously approved site plan special exception approval to modify the use of the 300 building to allow for college use.
Excuse me, Josu, I'm sorry.
Yes.
We're not seeing the presentation here.
It's on. Let me just check with our
No worries,
technical
sir. Thank you.
technicians.
Unfortunately, that technical capability is broken tonight. So I can put it up on everything if you want, if that would help you. I can put it on your daises, actually.
Right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
That's what I'm at. Yeah, if you could. Thank you. Sorry, folks. Just give us a minute. Thanks.
I guess for those of us in the room, we can look at over there. It's there. All right.
We're good here now.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. Application number 23-164, SPM SEAAR. The applicant is requesting site plan modification to modify the previously approved site plan. Special exception approval to modify the use of the 300 building to allow for college uses as part of the existing private academic institution in lieu of the existing middle school. An architectural approval to modify the wall signage on the northern facade of the 300 building. Subject property has an industrial general zoning designation. and the property is located at 300 and 400 Royal Commerce Road. This is an illustration of the site plan with the 300 building called out for the college use. Access to the site will remain as is from the north, from Seminole Palms Drive and Royal Plaza Road on the west. This slide illustrates the proposed north elevation with the modification of the signage showing on the elevation. In reviewing the proposed special exception, village staff considered compatibility with adjacent land uses, consistency with the comprehensive plan, conformance with the village development standards for the industrial zoning district, more specifically whether the proposed special exception does not have any adverse environmental impact, does not have adverse vehicular or pedestrian traffic impacts, does not have an adverse impact on public facilities, does not have an adverse impacts on adjacent properties, compatible with the character and living conditions of the existing neighborhood, does not have an adverse impact on property values in adjacent areas, and is not a deterrent to the improvement or development of adjacent properties, and is not serious and will not seriously reduce the quality or quantity of light and air available to adjacent properties. Staff request the recommendations of approval be submitted to council regarding application number 23-164, SPM SEAAR, and resolution number 23-52. This concludes my presentation. I'll answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Ms. Kaiser, do you have a presentation you'd like to add?
I do. I'll be very brief. I actually had the opportunity to present before you last October, and I got to tell you all about our preschool use. And if you recall from that presentation, this slide, we talked about the reason for the existence of preschool use, and that was to create. Thank you very much. Thank you. And that was, the catalyst for it was really for the college to create an early learning training program to start educating a more highly skilled workforce in early learning and using the preschool as a clinical site for our students to get hands-on training. So today you're hearing about the college use. And the reason why this is so important is because really early learning is a missed opportunity. If our children are kindergarten ready, then they are third grade reading level ready. And if they're third grade reading level ready, then they're more likely to graduate high school on time and go to college. So the college, Southeastern College, which is affiliated with, it's owned by the founders of Kaiser University that has been educators for over 50 years. They recognized this missed opportunity and wanted to create this early learning program. And the applications before you today are going to effectuate this early learning training program. Again, thank you very much, staff, for your presentations. So a few more highlights. The purpose of the site plan modification is just simply to update the plan sheets. We're not actually making any modifications to the site at this time. It's in its existing condition. We are, however, modifying a council-imposed condition that was associated with the previous site plan approval. And that previous site plan approval had the grades and the maximum number of students. And then we're also applying for a special exception for a private academic institution to convert the middle school use into a college use. And then finally, we need approval for the wall sign. So the revised language before you that was presented to you at the beginning of the meeting, just wanted to show you a cross comparison. Previous approval resolution number 0705 limited the grades preschool to 8th grade. So now we're asking for a preschool and college. And then there was a maximum of 299 full-time students, 75 those were middle school students. Now we're asking for 356 full-time students, and that's broken down into 206 preschool students and 150 college students. students. Just a note on the 150 college students, our cohort size, our class sizes are a maximum of 30 students. So you're not going to have all 150 on class. You may have 150 enrolled, but in a class, there'll only be 30. Classes are only from 8 to 1 and from about 5:30 to 8 p.m. So each class is split in either one class in the morning and one class in the evening. Because this is a satellite campus for Southeastern College, they actually have a main campus in West Palm Beach. And you've seen the, staff has shown you the signage that we are proposing. This is just an elevation. He provided a rendering and just wanted to show you the location of where that sign's going to be. It's also going to be consistent with a previously approved sign for the preschool, which is just east of this building. So it'll look uniform. And that concludes my presentation. I'm here to answer any further questions you may have. Thank you.
Kaiser?
Mr. Chair, if I just could interrupt you, I'm sorry to interrupt. Just one comment, just because you're a very astute board. There is an item from the same applicant on the LPA agenda. This site plan has nothing to do with that item. So this site plan stands on its own without having anything to do with the LPA items. I just wanted that to be clear for the record. Thank you, sir. Sorry for the interruption.
Thank you, Minnie. Okay, commissioners, do we have any questions? I'll start, Commissioner Williams.
No questions, no comments.
Thank you, Commissioner McClellan.
All right, sorry, Minnie, sorry to do this to you, but just because you pointed out the condition on here, there's just a typo in it. It just, you said 365, it should be 356.
See, I knew I shouldn't have called that out, but we'll get that fixed. I'm sorry about that. Thank you.
We make a motion, we'll have to designate that change in the motion, correct?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner McClellan. I have no questions. You, sir, Commissioner Leland. I'm sorry for getting old, man. Sorry.
No question.
Commissioner Derry. Okay, thank you. Okay, I'd like to open the floor to public comments on this item. Nope. Oh, do we have anyone online? I'm not sure.
Oh, I guess it's part of the issues, technical issues we have.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
All right.
Okay.
As long as you solicit public comment from the room, we're open and this is a public meeting here, so you're good.
Thank you. No public comment from anyone? Okay, I'll close the floor to public comment. And do we have a motion on this item?
Recommend approval with modification of condition 2A for application number 23-164.
Motion made with that recommended change from Commissioner McClellan. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Derry. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Congratulations.
Thank you kindly. See you later.
Thank you. Next item is application number 23-183 VAR 3564 Haldin Place Pool. The applicant, Kristina Dye, is requesting variance approval to allow for a variance from section 26-62 to allow for a 5.75-foot rear pool setback where village code requires 8 feet, a variance of 2.25 feet for a property located at 3564 Haldin Place. Minnie, I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Is the applicant present for this item? Can you come to the podium, sir, and I'll swear you in? Your name, sir, for the record? Just Dye. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. Thank you. I'll turn to the commission for any ex parte disclosures. Thank you.
Thank you. Josu, over to you, sir.
Thank you. Application number 23-183, all pool variance. The applicant is requesting variance approval to allow for 5.75-foot rear pool setback where village code requires 8-foot rear setbacks for a swimming pool. The applicant is seeking a 2.25-foot variance to the rear setbacks requirements as established in Code Section 26-62D. Subject property is located at 3564 Haldin Place. Village Code Section 26-32 F6 allows the village council to grant variances to the code when special conditions and circumstances exist which are peculiar to the land, structure, or building involved. do not result from the actions of the applicant, will not confer on the applicant any special privilege that is denied by the zoning ordinance. A later interpretation of the provisions of this division will deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties, will be in harmony with the general intent and purpose of this division, will not be injurious to the area involved or detrimental to the public welfare. Village staff does not support the applicant's variance request because staff contends that no special conditions or circumstances exist which are not applicable to other lands, and that granting the variance will confer on the applicant privileges denied to other residents in similar circumstances. This property is located within the Belisara community, which is a fairly new community. Therefore, staff requests a recommendation of denial be submitted to Village Council regarding application 23-183 and variance order VC 24-01. This concludes my presentation. Glad to answer any questions.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Dye, do you have a presentation, or you'd like to say something?
No, I just would like to say I don't believe we're getting any special treatment by this variance that we're requesting. If you could tell by the picture that Jose and staff provided, the property is very small, and that's the only reason we're requesting the variance. Also would note that the variance we are requesting isn't a huge amount, it's just a couple extra feet. And we don't intend to overwhelm the neighborhood with our variance that we're requesting or anything. We're just trying to maximize the property line that we do have within the new community. We obviously like to be residents of Royal Palm Beach, and the added variance that we are going for it would just help us maximize our lot value and to add the pool. I did want to note that the variance for Royal Palm that we have is more egregious than the county variance. I believe the county uses a 3 and 0 property line. So I thought that our request of just a couple extra feet with this variance was reasonable to ask for. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Dye. Okay. Commissioners, questions or comments on this? Commissioner Derry?
Have we denied any other from this community in Belisara recently?
Staff will recommend denial of any variance because it deviated from the requirements of the code. We've recommended denial to the board, and I think in some cases the board has taken action where they agree with staff recommendations, and sometimes the board decides otherwise. So.
And just a reminder, if I could, to the commission that even if a variance in the same neighborhood was granted or denied in the past, that doesn't set any precedent. Each variance application is considered on its own based on the facts that are before you and the justification that the applicant provides. So what's been done in the past doesn't have to control what you do here tonight. I just want to make sure that you're all reminded of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Minnie. Commissioner Leland, any questions, comments?
No, I actually kind of agree with staff on this one because we are setting a precedent if we approve it.
Thank you. I just have a comment. Yeah, we have a stricter variance rule than the county, but we do have a very beautiful neighborhood
I agree.
we'd like to keep. So that's probably why you want to move here, or moved here.
Well, actually, I've been a resident for 32 years.
Nice.
I only left for college, but other than that, family's been here for 32 years.
We're glad you came back home. So.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner McClellan?
Is there any reason why you could, say, build the pool a little closer to the house to allow for that 8-foot setback?
We did consider that when discussing with pool contractors, but it requires to make changes to the foundation, provide extra stability. So in order to avoid trying to impact our own foundation and create risk that would be unsafe, it's better to have it further off the back side. And then with the 8-foot setback, given there's only 20 feet wide of space, if we only have the 8 feet setback, then the pool itself would have to be much smaller. And then we also have a family, so we're doing a childhood fence or child fence protective barrier. So if we did that close to the fence plus the child barrier, it'd basically be like on top of each other. And I also wanted to point out just from the picture, there's no one behind us neighborhood-wise, so affecting the neighborhood picture or what the neighborhood would see would not be impacted by our requested variance either.
Thank you, Mr. Dye. When the commission votes, if we vote not in favor, please note there's a second step. You can go to the village council afterwards if we do or if we deny it. Okay. Okay. I'd like to open the floor to public comment on this item. Okay, I'll close the floor to public comment. Do I have a motion on this item? I can't make a motion, guys, so.
No, I know.
Approve item number, which one are we on? Item number 23-183, variance.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Williams. Do we have a second? That motion fails. Do I have a second motion on this item? I'll remind the commission we do have to take action on this item.
I'll make a motion to deny application number 23-183.
Motion made to deny the application by Commissioner Derry. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Leland. All in favor?
Just a reminder, as you call the vote, a vote in favor, so a vote of aye is to deny, a vote of nay is to not deny.
Thank you. Okay, all in favor of denying this application?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Motion passes, is denied 4-1. Sorry, sir, but you do have the option to go to the village council next. Okay?
Thank you.
Sir. Moving on to application number 23-136 AAR Lakeside Landing Signage. The applicant, DR Horton, Inc., is requesting architectural approval to install a new monument sign for a property located northwest of the Okeechobee Boulevard and Royal Palm Beach Boulevard intersection. Mitty, I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Your name for the record, sir?
Doug Murray with WGI.
Thank you. Could you raise your right hand for me, and I'll swear you in. Do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir, and I'll turn back to the commission for any ex parte disclosures. Thank you.
Thank you, Mitty. Joseph?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Application number 23-136 AAR. The applicant is requesting architectural approval to install a new monument sign for a property located approximately 1,000 feet northwest of the Okeechobee Boulevard and Royal Palm Beach Boulevard intersection. This slide illustrates the existing site plan showing the location of the proposed monument sign, highlighted in red on the slide. This is an illustration of the proposed monument sign, renderings, and materials. Staff recommends approval of application number 23-136 AAR as submitted. This concludes my presentation. I'll be glad to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Josu. Mr., I think it was Murray.
Yes.
Do you have a presentation? You'd like to add anything?
Yes, I do have a very, very brief presentation that I just pulled up here. You may remember this project, Lakeside Landing. I was before you last year for 100 fee simple townhomes located behind the Village Royale Shopping Center at Okeechobee and Royal Palm Beach Boulevard. Just to get you oriented to the site. The site is moving forward since you saw it last year. Just to let you know, actually just got approval for the clearing permit, and we're trying to finalize the engineering permits, so it should be under construction shortly. Here's just a rendering of the site plan, and again, the signage is for the entrance signage at Royal Palm Beach Boulevard. Again, Josu showed you the location there. It's located on a very small piece of land, so we're trying to kind of maximize what we can without blocking the development that's coming in behind it. He showed you that one. Just wanted to throw in another rendering that we had so you could see that for reference. That concludes my presentation. I'll open any comments that you have.
Thank you, Mr. Murray. Commissioners, do we have any questions or comments on this item? Commissioner Williams?
No questions, no comments.
Commissioner McClellan?
No, nothing.
I have no comments. Commissioner Leland?
I like it.
You like it? Commissioner Derry?
No questions.
No questions, okay. I'd like to open the floor to public comment on this item. Seeing none, I'll close the floor to public comment. Do we have a motion on item number 3?
I'll make a motion that we approve application number 23-136 AAR.
Okay, motion made by Commissioner Leland. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Vice Chair McClellan. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Congratulations, Mr. Murray.
Thank you very much.
Okay, application number 23-071 AR Village Shops signage. The applicant, I'm sorry, I'm going to say this wrong, Dov Werdiger, on behalf of JBL Village Shops LLC, is requesting architectural and aesthetic review, AR approval to update the master signage plan for Village Shops, which dictates tenant signage criteria for property 10101 to 10499 Southern Boulevard. Mitty, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Your name, sir, for the record?
Michael Rem?
Thank you, sir. Can you raise your right hand? I'll swear you in. Do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. And I'll turn back to the commission for ex parte disclosures. Thank you.
Committee, Josu.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Application number 23-071, the applicant is requesting modifications to the master sign plan for the village shops on 441. Subject property address is 10101 10499 Southern Boulevard. This slide illustrates the overall proposed black and white Arial bold font for all wall signage, as well as a pre-finished brushed aluminum for all returns and dark bronze for all trim caps. Currently, the master sign criteria calls out any non-national tenant needs to provide a red color signage unless you're a national tenant. So this modifications or this amendment to the master sign plan will allow applicants to have a black or white as for the new theme of the plaza in terms of signage. This is an illustration of the overall architectural themes and modifications to existing monument signs on the property. Staff is recommending approval of application number 23-071, AR as submitted. This concludes my presentation. I would like to answer any questions if you have.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Mr. Reynolds?
Rem.
Sorry.
No, you don't have to be sorry. It's not the name on the agenda.
Okay, no worries. Mr. Rem, do you have a presentation? You'd like to add anything?
I do not have a presentation. I just came to represent the applicant. First of all, I want to thank you for your time this evening, Josu and the rest of staff with their assistance on this application. We bought this property in 2018, 2019. It was in a, I guess, relative state of disrepair. We've been working, I've been before you folks plenty often. We've been working through the property, upgrading its appearance, its leasability, and this is the next step or the next phase in that process. We do our best to operate our properties professionally and maintain a first-class standard, and we think that this will aid our ability to do so while still maintaining a beautiful property.
Thank you, sir. Do appreciate the improvements there. Great. Okay, commissioners, we have any comments, questions? Commissioner Derry?
No.
Commissioner McClellan? Commissioner Williams?
No questions.
Okay. I'd like to open the floor to public comment on this item. Such a talkative audience today, right? Just like last time. Okay, I'll close the floor to public comment. And do we have a motion on this item?
I'll make a motion that we approve application 23-071.
Motion. Oh, thank you, sir. Motion made by Commissioner Leland. Do we have a second?
I second.
Seconded by Commissioner Williams. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Congratulations, Mr. M. Thank you. Next item, application number 23-182 AAR Village Shops Facade. The applicant, Michael Rem, again. That's you. Sorry. Oh. Trying to confuse me. Okay. On behalf of JBL Village Shops LLC is requesting architectural approval to make improvements to the facade of an existing retail shop or property located at 10101 Southern Boulevard. Mitty?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Your name, sir, for the record?
Jason Weber with Kimley Horn on behalf of the applicant.
Thank you, sir. Could you raise your right hand for me and I'll swear you in? Do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir, and I'll turn back to the commission for any ex parte disclosures. Thank you.
Thank you. Josu?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Application number 23-182, AAR. The applicant is requesting architectural approval to make improvements to the facade of an existing retail shop for a property located at 10101 Southern Boulevard. The area of the existing building, which was formerly utilized as a garden center by the previous tenant and the plaza, has remained vacant and unoccupied for several years. The applicant proposed improvement comprises of flexible retail spaces that can accommodate 11 potential tenant bays. In light of this proposal, the proposed architectural colors and design intends to align with the most recent architecture, color, and design plans that have been approved on record, ensuring consistency and coherence in the plaza's overall aesthetic. So if you see on your screen, the highlighted red is the most eastern portion of the building. That's where they're proposing to provide renovations and improvements. For those of you who are familiar with the property, it's the portion of the building immediately east of the Burlington property. And this is an existing elevation as it looks right now. And this is an existing elevation of the eastern portion of the property. This slide illustrates the proposed elevations for the south, west, and east elevation, and the materials as well proposed for the improvements. Also, by reference, we've included the site plan at the bottom of the screen. There is a concurrent site plan application right now with this application that staff is reviewing for compliance with the code. This slide illustrates the overall renderings proposed by the applicant and modifications to the existing east facade of the building. If you're looking at this specific view, you're standing southeast of the building, looking northwest. Again, this is the east elevation from the other side, standing northeast of the building, looking sort of southwest. Staff is recommending approval of application number 23-182, AAR as submitted. This concludes my presentation. I'll answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Weber, do you have a presentation or anything to add, sir?
Very long presentation, but I'll abbreviate it very quickly for you. So thank you all for tonight and your attention. Staff did an exceptional job going through the application. Just want to hit a couple of high notes. As he pointed out, we're working in the very northeast corner, removing a portion. We're working at a very small portion of the site, about 0.3 of an acre of about a 40-acre shopping plaza. The current use and land use are up there as well for you. As noted, we're removing about 8,700 square feet of existing building and garden center that's unutilized. It was from a former Kmart. It's now a Burlington, completely unutilized, underutilized space out in that area. I think staff had exceptional pictures as well as ours of showing, the condition of that area, which is front-facing to State Road 7. So definitely want to turn that around. As Mr. Rem mentioned in the previous item, they're doing a lot with improving this center piece by piece and coming forward to you with improvements that provide a benefit to the village as well as to the center and to the public. You can see this is exactly what you see as you would drive by, just unutilized empty space. As mentioned, we've got a snippet here of our site plan that we've got under a separate minor application with staff. 12,879 new square feet of potential restaurant and retail space, up to 11 potential tenants. Complementing the existing color and the finishes that are already out there on site, much better than it was previously, and working with staff on all those different elements and really bringing a lot of vibrancy to the center. As noted, there's a sister site plan modification, and just to kind of peek behind the curtain on the landscaping, improving a little bit of the landscape buffer along State Road 7 with some additional shrubs and hedges, and then filling in some trees and adding some islands and some other locations through the site, and improving that visibility at that corner as well with some nice new landscaping. A mix of some foxtail palm, royal palm, and silver buttonwood trees. Architectural floor plan that we saw, great architectural renderings, as staff mentioned, and you can see right here, we've got some clock tower type elements at both of the corners of this, really framing that side of the new facade and really being a statement piece for the center as people drive by it coming southbound. Similarly, that's the northeast corner. And both the corner anticipated to be restaurants, have some outdoor seating areas as well for those. Again, bring some more vibrancy to this corner of the site. All right, some close-ups of the elevations. Breeze through these, you guys have them there. And then our color material board, again, matching what's going on in the rest of the center. Bring some really nice elements there with the wall sconces and screens too. And the stone finish at those corner statement pieces. And with that, request approval tonight for the AAR, and happy to answer any other questions.
Thank you, sir. Commissioners, Commissioner Williams?
No comments.
Commissioner McClellan?
Nope, comments.
That looks great. Frequently drive by, there's the fence, and it looks like Walking Dead, kind of stuff going on there, so very appreciate that. Love that's going to be seen on 441. Mr. Rem, Mr. Weber did a better presentation. It's just more exciting, sorry. So, Commissioner Leland?
No, agreed. That needs a facelift.
Commissioner Derry?
Yeah, I think it looks great. Love to see those improvements, and I appreciate working in the outdoor seating, so I don't have to come back here.
That's cool. Okay, I'd like to open the floor to public comment on this item. Okay, I'll close the floor to public comment, and is there a motion on this item?
Approval, application number 23182 AAR.
Motion made by Vice Chair McClellan. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Derry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Congratulations, Mr. Weber. Thank you.
Thank you all for your time tonight, and I'd like to thank staff again for working with us on these projects.
Staff is awesome. Thank you. They're awesome. Next item is application number 23-194, AR Nissan dealership facade. The applicant, Right Way Contracting and Painting, is requesting architectural approval to modify the facade by replacing ACM panels, repainting of the building within the same color palette, and changing out the storefront windows for a property located at 9405 Southern Boulevard. Minnie?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Is the applicant present? Can you come to the podium, sir, for me? Your name, sir, for the record?
Good night, guys. Kirk Chung.
Thank you, sir.
Representing Ratway.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? I'll swear you in. Do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, and I'll turn back to the commission for any ex parte disclosures. Thank you.
Josie, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Application number 23-194 AAR. The applicant is requesting architectural approval to modify the facade by replacing ACM panels, repainting of the building to be consistent with the color palette as it exists right now, and changing out the storefront windows for a property located at 9405 Southern Boulevard. This is an illustration of the proposed south and east elevations, indicating the colors, and the ACM panels are no longer within this elevation. The proposed colors are consistent with the existing colors for the building. The proposed upper band color is Sunrise Silver Metallic ACM-SKU AB022, and the lower band is Nissan Gray ACM-SKU number AB134. Staff is recommending approval of application number 23-194 AAR as submitted. This concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'm sorry, sir, I didn't catch your last name. I'm sorry.
Chung, C-H-O-N-G.
Chung. Mr. Chung, do you have a presentation? Like to add anything, sir?
I do not. Apologize.
No worries. Okay, thank you. Commissioners, we have any questions or comments? Commissioner Derry?
No
Commissioner
questions.
Leland?
None.
I have none. Commissioner McClellan?
I have none.
Commissioner Williams? Okay, I'd like to open the floor to public comment on this item. Okay,
Isn't them?
yeah, people are falling asleep out there. Okay, I'll close the floor to public comment, and do we have a motion on this item?
I move to approve application 23-194 AAR.
Commissioner Williams, we have a second.
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Leland. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Congratulations, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Last item on this agenda is application number 23-193 AAR Cypress Key Town Center, West Commercial Parcel. The applicant, J. Morton Planning and Landscape Architecture, is requesting architectural approval to modify the facade and architectural features of Building B1, addition of a flagpole and screening wall and fencing, and changes the signage plan, which include adding a wall sign and monument sign, and removal of I think it's a menu pricing sign.
Oh, sorry, that's two.
Chris?
That's not good for tonight. Sorry about that.
For a property located at 11925 and 11931 Southern Boulevard. I do want to point out that Commissioner McClellan did step off, so we will.
Yeah, and if I could just add to that, Mr. Chair, Commissioner McClellan does have a voting conflict on this item. The applicant is her employer, so she has filled out Form 8B, which will track with the minutes of this item. If the record could reflect that she left the dais at 7:41, she will not participate in or vote on this item, given her disclosed conflict. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, and we'll go back to you.
Thank you. And I'll turn to the applicant now. Could you give me your name for the record?
Kenzie Bullock.
Thank you, ma'am. Can you raise your right hand? I'll swear you in. Do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, and I'll turn back to the commission and ask for ex parte disclosures. Thank you.
Thank you, Mitty. Josu?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Application number 23-193. The applicant is requesting architectural approval to modify the facade and architectural features of Building B1 and adding a flagpole, screening walls and fencing, and changes to the signage plan to include.
Josu, I'm so sorry. We're still seeing the last presentation up on the screens and over here. Thank you.
I'm so sorry about
No
that.
worries.
Changes to the signage plan, which include adding a wall sign and monument sign, as well as deleting of the menu board sign. I do want to bring it up. I had conversation with the applicant regarding whether that menu board sign will impact this application if it remains in the master sign plan. And we realized it actually needs to be deleted as part of the master sign criteria because it doesn't impact this application in any ways, in shape and form. So to be consistent with the request, so we'll make sure that we amend the master sign criteria to delete that menu board, that existing menu board sign on there. So wanted to bring that clarity. It doesn't impact this application in any way, shape, or form. All right.
Okay. Cool.
This slide illustrates the existing site plan identifying the affected unit within Building B1. And the slide illustrates the elevations, the south, east, and north elevations. This is the plan I was referring to earlier. This is the existing and proposed master sign criteria for that development. As you can see, menu, price, and sign C is still on there. We'll just delete that. The applicant is proposing the freestanding monument sign D, which is reflected within the overall site plan. This slide illustrates the proposed signage details. Staff is recommending approval of application number 23-193 AAR as submitted. This concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Bullock, do you have a presentation or anything to add?
Nothing to add. I have a presentation, but it's largely redundant. Any
Great.
questions, I'm here to answer.
Okay. No embarrassing stories about Commissioner McClellan to share with us, but we'd love to hear
I work with her every day. I don't want to get that wrath on me.
Next time, please bring some. Okay. Commissioners, any questions? Commissioner Williams? I have no questions. Commissioner Leland?
No questions.
Commissioner Derry?
Questions?
Okay, I'd like to open the floor to public comment. Nope. Close the floor to public comment. Do we have a motion on this item?
And Mr. Chair, if I could just step in for one quick second. So just to be clear, is the applicant in agreement with what staff said regarding removal of the menu sign from that master sign plan document?
To be, like, we're deleting the signage type from the, yes.
Okay, so you're in agreement with that? Okay, so if I could ask the maker of any motion to, should you move approval, it would be with the condition that that menu pricing sign be removed from the supporting documentation. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mitty. Appreciate that. Okay, now do we have a motion on this item?
I make a motion to approve application 23-193 AAR with the conditions that the menu pricing sign be removed.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. Motion made by Commissioner Williams. Do I have a second? Seconded by Commissioner Derry. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Congratulations, Ms. Wallach. Thank you. Remember next time, bring the stories. Next item is just to let you know, our next meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission is Tuesday, March 26th. I'd like to, Commissioners don't go anywhere with the LPA next. So I have a motion to close the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting.
I'll make a motion that we close the planning and zoning meeting.
Motion made by Commissioner Leland. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Derry. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? We are done with the Planning and Zoning Commission. Thank you. And we're going to move on to, I'd like to call to order the local planning agency meeting on February 27th at 7:46 p.m.
If you could, Mr. Chair, on this one, if you could redo roll call since we had a recusal on at the end of the last meeting.
Will do. We already did the Pledge of Allegiance, so Sarah, can you do the roll call, please?
Okay. Chairman Adam Miller,
Here.
Vice Chairman Laura McClellan,
Problem child's here.
Commissioner David Leland,
Here.
Commissioner Cara Derry,
Here.
Commissioner Kamar Williams,
Here.
Andrew Alba, alternate 1, and Jonathan Dickinson, alternate 2.
Thank you, Sarah. I'd like to ask for a motion to be made on the approval of the minutes from the January 23rd.
Planning and zoning?
I'm sorry, this says planning and zoning. It should be local planning agency. Did we have a local planning agency in January? Yeah, okay.
You did.
So if the commissioners could just make a note that it should be local planning agency for that item. Do we have a motion on the minutes?
I move approval of the minutes of the January LPA meeting.
Motion made by Commissioner McClellan. I have a second.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Leland. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Minutes passed 5-0. Okay. Item number 1, application number 23-186, SCPA Primrose Schools parking lot. The applicant, Bar Education, Inc., is requesting a small-scale, comprehensive plan amendment to change the future land use designation of one parcel totaling 0.235, more or less, acres from the village's open space, OS, land use designation to the village's industrial, IND, land use designation for a property located at 6846 Seminole Palms Drive. Mitty, I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This actually is a legislative item, so there are no, this is not quasi-judicial, so no swearing in. You can just turn it over to staff.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joe Sue, I think we're over to you then.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Application number 23-186. The applicant is seeking a small-scale comprehensive plan amendment to change the future land use designation of one parcel totaling approximately 0.235 acres from the village open space land use designation to the village industrial land use designation. The subject property is located on the south side of Seminole Palms Drive, approximately 0.14 miles east of Royal Palm Beach Boulevard at 6846 Seminole Palms Drive. The subject property was owned originally by the village of Royal Palm Beach and was recently purchased by Artemis Investment LLC. It is important to note that within the agreement for the purchase and sale of real property, the terms as to how the property is to be used is outlined in section 1.03. I'll just briefly go to that section, some high points in there. Section 1.03, property information and buyer's intended use. The buyer intends to incorporate East Parcel into its existing academic institution located at 300 and 400 Royal Commerce Park to provide additional parking for the institution, which is referred to as the intended use. Also within that section, the intended use of the agreement, the buyer acknowledges that in order to develop the intended use on the East Parcel, the buyer shall be required to obtain development approvals from the village, which include a comprehensive plan amendment, which is this application before you today, to change the future land use designation from current open space to industrial, rezoning to change the zoning designation from current public ownership to industrial, a special exception approval for a public or private academic institution, a site plan modification approval, architectural and aesthetic approval, and of course, building permits subsequently, collectively referred to as the approvals in the agreement. To date, the applicant submits application to nearly all of the required applications stipulated in the said agreement. The applicant has indicated within their justification statement that the ultimate goal is to develop the property for the purpose of providing additional parking to the lot for the proposed Primrose school. And reviewing the proposed future land use map amendment designating the parcel as industrial, village staff considered compatibility with adjacent land use, consistency with the village comprehensive plan, whether the action requested will contribute to a condition of public hazards as described in the sanitary sewer, solid waste, drainage, and potable water, whether it will exacerbate any existing public facility capacity deficit as described in the traffic circulation element, whether it generates public facility demands that may be accommodated by capacity increases planned in the 5-year schedule of improvements, conforms with future land uses as shown on the future land use map. Staff requests the recommendations of approval be submitted to Village Council regarding application number 23-186, small comprehensive plan small scale amendment, and ordinance number 1044. This concludes my presentation. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you, Josu. Ms. Kaiser, do you have anything to add?
Just a little bit of no presentation, just a little bit of a backstory. This was a very small and vacant and underutilized piece of property, and when the village was willing to sell it, the adjacent property owners got the first opportunity, and both the auto body shop and the college both wanted it, so the council actually asked us to split it, and that's why the property is split. So as a preschool, we teach sharing is caring. We should live by that, and we agreed. And basically, your approval tonight would just be helping us effectuate the contractual obligation that we have with the village. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioners, any comments or discussion on this item? Commissioner Derry? Commissioner Leland? None. I have none. Commissioner McClellan? Commissioner Williams? Okay. I still open this for public comment.
Yes, sir.
Right? Thank you. I'd like to open it for public comment. Tricked me. I thought he was going to come and say something. I'll close the floor to public comment. You got a little more nervous there, right? Okay. Do I have a motion on this item?
I'll make a motion to approve application number 23-186 SCPA.
Motion made by Commissioner Derry. Do I have a second?
I'll second. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think motion seconded by Commissioner McClellan. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? The item passes 5-0.
Thank you kindly. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Ms. Kaiser.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Moving on to the next item, application number 23-129 CONTR, South Florida Fair Annex. The applicant, Urban Design Studios, on behalf of South Florida Fair and PBC Exhibitions, Inc., is requesting contraction approval through ordinance number 1042 to de-annex or remove a 3.742 more or less acre parcel from within the village's municipal boundary and into unincorporated Palm Beach County for a property located on the north side of Wiseman Way, roughly 0.3 miles west of Sandsbury Way.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is also legislative, so no swearing in or ex parte. You can just turn it over to staff.
Thank you, ma'am. Josu?
Mr. Chair, application number 23-129. The applicant is proposing a de-annexation of a parcel of land totaling approximately 3.742 acres of land located on the north side of Wiseman Way, approximately 1,780 feet west of Sainsbury Way. This slide illustrates the village current zoning map showing the parcel requested for de-annexation. On your slide, it's called out. The parcel is currently vacant and is primarily used for parking for the South Florida Fairgrounds. The applicant states that the proposal for the de-annexation request is to allow the fairground to consolidate this parcel, which they own with the other parcels of the fairgrounds, in order to master plan all their properties collectively within unincorporated Palm Beach County. It is also important to note that this parcel was part of a 90.5 acre annexation of the Sawgrass Center into the village via ordinance number 319 in 1989. But it's only contiguous to the village property at the extreme northwest corner, as shown on the zoning map here, of the parcel. Except for that corner, the parcel requested for the de-annexation is adjacent to unincorporated Palm Beach County property on the north, east side, and west sides, as shown on the slide. If approved by the village council, the subject property will revert back into unincorporated Palm Beach County. Staff requests a recommendation of approval be submitted to the Village Council regarding application number 23-129. This concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, I'll be able to answer.
Thank you, Josu.
Thank you.
Sir?
Thank you. Good evening, Commissioners. Lindsay Jean-Louis with Urban Design Studio on behalf of South Florida Fair and PBC Expositions, Inc. Josu did a great job of outlining our request tonight, but I'm just going to fill in some information for you. And again, the request is for a contraction approval or de-annexation approval for the 3.742 acre parcel. And as you can see here, the site location southwest of Belvedere and Sandsbury. And this is a surrounding context. As you can see, the labels that are in that green hue are zoning and land use designations in the unincorporated county. And then the labels in the white hue are zoning and land use designations in the village of Royal Palm Beach. As you could see, our site is rather isolated and mostly surrounded on the west, south, east, and north sides of the site, surrounded by unincorporated Palm Beach County, and there's a very, very minimal connection to the existing village boundary. And as you could see, the larger character of this area is industrial, as the county and zoning and flu designations are industrial, as well as the village designations to the west. And this is an image of the proposed village boundary. As we get closer, again, you just see another visual depiction of that isolated piece and what we propose post-contraction. And as indicated here, the area highlighted in yellow is the current village boundary and the current site, again, surrounded by the unincorporated county. And only 37 feet actually on that northwestern corner is contiguous to the village of Royal Palm Beach. That makes for 2% of the external site boundary. So again, it really generally fits in the character and is appropriate within the unincorporated Palm Beach County jurisdiction. And this is just an image of the South Florida Fair master plan area. As you can see, the site to the north of this is also owned by the Fair, as well as everything, as you can see in blue, to the south. With today's contraction and de-annexation request, the South Florida Fair will be able to consolidate these parcels and go forward to the county with a master plan. And that concludes our presentation. If you guys want or have any questions or want any more details, we could provide that, but we're here to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Commissioners, we have any questions or comments? Commissioner Derry?
No questions.
Commissioner Leland?
Makes sense.
Makes sense to me as well. Commissioner McClellan?
Yep, makes sense.
Commissioner Williams? Okay, I'd like to open the floor to public comment. Okay, I'll close the floor to public comment. Do we have a motion on this item?
I'll move approval of application number 23129.
Motion made by Commissioner McClellan. Do I have a second?
I second.
Seconded by Commissioner Williams. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Congratulations, sir. Thank you. Okay, two more items. Ordinance number 1041 proposes to amend the Village Code of Ordinance at sections 4-36, 4-37, 4-39, 15-141, 16-1, 16-10, 16-12, 20-4, and 20-145 to replace all references to former occupation licenses with a current reference to business tax receipts. Committee, I'll pass over to you.
Thank you, sir. So this is just very simply a cleanup item. The ordinance you have before you is 1041. As is always the case in the ordinance, the proposed new language is double underlined. The proposed strike through is proposed for deletion. This is just a cleanup in response to state law, which preempted the regulation of occupational licenses to the state. So there were, as you can see from this ordinance, several references in the code to occupational licenses. So this is just cleaning the code up to remove that's really antiquated language to replace it with the more current business tax receipt language. So I'm happy to answer any questions, but this is just as I said, a cleanup item to address state law.
Great, thank you. Josie, you have nothing to add? No. Sorry.
Ask all the hard questions to Josu. He gets all the hard questions.
Commissioners, any questions or discussion? Commissioner Williams, Commissioner McClellan? I have none. Nope. Do I have open the floor to public comment? Got to add something, no? Okay.
Come on, Andrew, nothing?
I'll close the floor to public comment. Do I have a motion on this ordinance?
I'll move approval ordinance number 1041.
Motion made by Commissioner McClellan. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Derry. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ordinance passes 5-0. And last item, ordinance number 1038 proposes to amend the Village Code of Ordinances at sections 26-22 to add an entirely new definition for the term artificial turf, which was very interesting, and 15-141 to eliminate the current prohibition on the use of artificial turf and allow such use subject to certain requirements. Committee.
I should punt this one to Josu, but this is a little bit more substantive in terms of rewrite. As you probably can guess, the use of artificial turf is becoming more prominent. The current village code prohibits in its entirety artificial turf. So the reality is it was starting to go in places despite the prohibition, particularly in rear yards. So the thought was from staff to get something codified that addresses it so that in the event that it is installed, it's installed to specifications that the village wants in terms of material and longevity, et cetera. So as you said, there's a definition added. This was not a defined term in the code. Previously, there are amendments to provide the regulations. There's a fairly complicated table in the ordinance that is it seems kind of ridiculous, but it makes sense if you're in the artificial turf business. All the numbers jive. The thing that I was surprised by, this has come up in a lot of jurisdictions, is the variation in material. There is really good artificial turf and there is really not good artificial turf. For example, you can go buy, I remember my grandparents used to have that fake golf putting grass, right? So I've actually seen people try to install that in their yards. That's obviously not what we want. So that table, although it seems a little bit ridiculous, it makes clear what we want in terms of all the variations that do exist in the current market. So I'll answer any questions. It's kind of lengthy. The same thing I said before, all the new languages proposed, double underline. There's only additions, not deletions. So with that, I'll answer any questions if you have specific questions.
Do we have to wait for the council to approve it before we put?
Yes, you do. You have to wait for second reading, yes.
I know, right? This will be good.
Find a hole in your backyard.
Yeah, probably. Okay, so commissioners, any other comments or questions? Commissioner Williams? Commissioner McClellan?
I'm excited. We've got some really good samples in our office of what this stuff is. It should be, yeah, it can be really, really nice stuff.
Cool. Expensive?
In there that it has to be of NFL quality.
That's actually completely different, believe it or not. That's a whole different
I
thing.
know.
Yeah.
I know that.
I guess we got Commissioner McClellan and, Commissioner Leland. Commissioner Derry, you have any comments? Or
Nope.
anything? Okay, Commissioner McClellan just said it's very expensive, just to note for everyone. Okay, I'd like to open the floor to public comment. Okay, and I'll close the floor to public comment. Do we have a motion on this ordinance?
I'll make a motion that we approve ordinance number 1038. To amend the village code.
No problem.
I drew a
It's
blank there
late,
for a minute.
Do I have a second? Motion made by Commissioner Leland. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Williams. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Our next meeting of the LPA is Tuesday, March 26, 2024. Also, there is a, what's it called on Thursday? Dedication of this hall in Royal Palm at 4 o'clock. So commissioners and everyone else, please, yeah, I'm sorry? This Thursday, right? Yeah. It's cool, so exciting. Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion made by Commissioner Leland. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Derry. All in favor? All opposed? Okay, well, have a good night, everyone. Thank you.